this video, we will be talking about peroxisomes. So we're going to first start out with talking about its function, and then we'll talk about what happens if things go wrong with peroxisomes. So if you look over here at this image here, you can see that there is a typical cell, and this is the peroxisome inside of the cell. Peroxisomes are membrane-enclosed organelles that are involved in a wide variety of things, such as beta oxidation of very long-chain fatty acids, alpha oxidation of branched-chain fatty acids, catabolism of amino acids and ethanol, and synthesis of cholesterol, bile acid, and plasminogens. So don't worry, we're going to talk more specifically about each one of those. And peroxisomes are also unique because they have enzymes that are involved in oxidation reactions. These reactions produce hydrogen peroxide, also known as H2O2, as a byproduct. Because hydrogen peroxide is harmful to the cell, peroxisomes also have the enzyme catalase, which can decompose hydrogen peroxide by either converting it to water or using it to oxidize another organic compound. So I know I just threw a lot of information at you, and now let's talk about what that actually means in a little bit more detail. First, let's talk about the beta oxidation of long-chain fatty acids. This process is a lot more detailed than what I'm going to go through, but I just want you to have a brief overview here. So what are fatty acids? This is a rough structure of a fatty acid here, but you can have more carbons and stuff coming off of this way. Fatty acids are molecules that help provide us with energy, and they also make up triglycerides. In order for us to obtain energy from fatty acids, they have to be broken down via beta oxidation to form acetyl-CoA. Now, if you think acetyl-CoA sounds familiar, that might be because you're thinking of the citric acid cycle, or TCA cycle, because in that cycle, you will remember that acetyl-CoA is the starting product that you need to make ATP. And then this whole process is called beta oxidation because look over here, there is a beta carbon right there. And then alpha oxidation is pretty much the same thing, except you're cutting the fatty acid at the alpha carbon instead of the beta carbon. Now, let's talk a little bit about the breakdown of amino acids and ethanol. But I'm not going to go super in depth because once again, they're a lot more complicated than is shown on this diagram. But I think it's sufficient to know that peroxisomes break down amino acids and ethanol, which is in alcohol. They are also involved in the synthesis of cholesterol and bile acids. So cholesterol is turned into bile acid, which is released from the gallbladder/liver to help you break down the fats you eat. Lastly, they make up plasminogens, which are a subclass of ether phospholipids that are commonly found in the cell membranes in the nervous system, immune, and cardiovascular system. And so as you can look over here, this is what the peroxisome does. So it takes ethanol, it uses catalase, and then turns it into acetaldehyde. Now that we have kind of talked about the function of peroxisomes, let's talk about what happens if things go wrong. The first disease we'll talk about is Zellweger Syndrome. So this is an autosomal recessive disorder in which you have issues with peroxisome biogenesis due to a mutated gene, which results in hypotonia, seizures, hepatomegaly, and early death. Refsum disease is another autosomal recessive disorder of alpha oxidation, so you don't have alpha oxidation. And then this can result in a certain molecule called phytanic acid that is not being able to be metabolized. So this results in scaly skin, ataxia, cataracts, night blindness, shortening of the fourth toe, and epiphyseal dysplasia. Lastly, you have a disease called Adrenal Leukodystrophy, which is X-linked recessive, and so it's a problem with beta oxidation. So what happens is you have very long chain fatty acids that build up in your adrenal glands and the white matter of the brain, as well as the testes. So the adreno part of adrenal leukodystrophy refers to the adrenal glands, and the leuko part refers to the white matter of the brain. And this disease eventually progresses to adrenal gland crisis, coma, and death. Now, let's sum up the important facts of this video. So, peroxisomes are membrane-enclosed organelles that are involved in beta oxidation, alpha oxidation, catabolism of amino acids and ethanol, synthesis of cholesterol, bile acid, and plasminogens. They also have enzymes that are involved in oxidation reactions, which produce hydrogen peroxide. And then if things go wrong with peroxisome, it can lead to various syndromes and adrenal leukodystrophy. So thank you for watching this video. If you got this far, please give this video a like. Comment below with questions or if you want us to make a video on a different topic. Lastly, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a future video.